Welcome to this conference, Living Heritage in the Nordic Countries. My name is Pirjo Hamari. I work at the Finnish Heritage Agency as a Director of Development, and my unit is responsible for the implementation of the Convention on Intangible Heritage. It is really great to see so many of you here from so many different countries in this area, and we are very much looking forward to fruitful discussions, interesting presentations, and including the Saving the World Clinic on Saturday. I'm sure we will have great results from our work during these 2 or 3 days here, and we are looking forward to hearing all the discussions that will take place here in Hanasaari today. I will be chairing today's sessions, but my job mostly concerns only presenting the people coming here to talk to you about the importance on sustainability and how it's connected to intangible cultural heritage. We have welcome speeches here to begin our session. There are 3 of those, and I will tell you all 3 in row, and I would ask the presenters then to follow one another. The first presentation comes from Hanaholmen Cultural Center and is presented by Maria Romanchuk. Next we have a welcome speech by the Ministry of Education and Culture by Riitta Kaivosoja, and a welcoming note from the Finnish Heritage Agency by Juhani Kostet. And I would ask Maria Romanchuk to start this session by her welcome speech. Please, Maria.
Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's great to see so many of you here today at Hanaholmen, the Cultural Center for Sweden and Finland. Hanaholmen is a cultural center, but actually its mission is wider than that. Hanaholmen was opened in 1975 with the goal to develop and promote cooperation, culture, business and relations in all sectors between Finland and Sweden. Today, Hanaholmen arranges yearly about 100 events here in this house and outside the house also, both in Finland and Sweden. The events are all linked to all aspects of societies in Sweden and Finland, including arts and culture and cultural politics. One example of our arts and culture projects are our activities in the sphere of public art. We have had a 2-year project focusing on the practices of acquiring public art in municipalities in Sweden and Finland, bringing together municipal authorities from both countries to exchange and develop ideas and practices. The project has resulted in a handbook that helps anyone who works with issues related to public art. It's been published less than a month ago, and we are very proud of this product. In addition, Helsinki recently welcomed a new piece of art, public art, in the very heart of Helsinki, at the Erottaja Square near Swedish Theatre in the absolute center of Helsinki. It's an artwork by the Swedish sculptor Eva Lange, well known worldwide. The artwork on Erottaja Square is a result of a 7-year-long process between Hanaholmen, Helsinki Art Museum, and Stockholm Konst, and it highlights the living and evolving relationship between Finland and Sweden. The counterpart of the artwork by the Finnish sculptor Maria Kanervo is found in Stockholm, also in the center of the city at Engelbrekt Square. And this artwork was created as a part of the celebration of Finland's 100 years of independence within the project two countries, one future. Earlier in October this year, we welcomed a new artwork in our art park that's surrounding this building. It's a fragmented circle by the Danish artist Jeppe Hein, a gift of the Cultural Foundation for Denmark and Finland. In the art park, you can also see a gift from the Swedish state. It was given when Finland was celebrating its 100 years of independence in 2017. The art piece, the artwork, is called Free Fall by the Swedish artist Anna Uddenberg. And it can be seen in the water on your right. You can see it from our wine bar if you want to stay inside, and you can see it from the hotel rooms. But I would recommend you to take a walk around the building and see other arts that we have surrounding the building. So, focusing today on intangible cultural heritage in this seminar, I hope the tangible cultural heritage of Hanaholmen will offer you enjoyable setting today. I hope you enjoy bits and pieces of our art collection inside the house. We have about 300 pieces of art inside the house. In every hotel room there's a painting, and it's all over the house. And the sculptures outside of the house as well enjoy the Finnish archipelago. It's unique and it's surrounding us as well as the art park. Warmly welcome to Hanaholmen. I hope you have wonderful days and get to good conclusions. Welcome.
Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning everybody. It's a great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Culture, and I have to say it is always a great pleasure to visit Hanaholmen. I think both the surroundings and especially now when they have all those pieces of art here nearby, as well as the house itself, and I'm very glad that it has been totally renovated, and I think it is better now than it has ever been actually, yes. And also I think I don't know what it is, Senat is the company owned by the state who is taking care of most of public state-owned buildings in Finland. They did the renovation especially carefully. So, but also the personnel of the Hanaholmen, they were very demanding. So all the details they are better than they were then when the house was opened. So it is a great pleasure to be here. But something about cultural heritage and intangible heritage. During this conference, we will be discussing topical themes that are often on the agenda in world politics. Issues such as the sustainable development, social cohesion, and cultural diversity. They are also at the heart of UNESCO Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. A special task of this conference is to examine the role of communities and organizations in implementing the convention. We will hear contributions from various parties from all Nordic countries, including the Åland Islands, the Faroe Islands, and Greenland, and from the Baltic states. Dear friends, as we know, the UNESCO Convention has been ratified by all the Nordic countries. Finland ratified it in 2013, and entrusted the Finnish Heritage Agency with coordinating it at the national level. From the outset, the Finnish Heritage Agency has been working closely with its Nordic colleagues to develop its activities. For example, the Living Heritage circles adopted in Finland were inspired by the Swedish nodes, and the Open Wiki platform, which was developed as a way to take inventory of Finnish living heritage, has become a model for the other Nordic countries to adopt. The UNESCO Convention emphasizes the central role of communities in identifying and defining intangible cultural heritage, and UNESCO accredited expert organizations play an important role in this work. The Nordic and Baltic Network on Intangible Cultural Heritage, established last summer in Kaustinen, is a practical example of how good practices and models can be shared and developed through cooperation. Dear friends, in August, the Nordic Prime Ministers adopted a new vision for Nordic cooperation. The Nordic countries are striving to become the most sustainable and integrated region in the world by 2030. The Nordic countries often score high on international comparisons measuring areas such as transparency, trust, freedom of expression, the environment and happiness. I believe that one of the cornerstones of this Nordic cohesion lies in our arts and culture. I think cultural partnerships have a major impact on society, and they also reflect the common value base shared by our countries. The primary means of achieving this new vision for Nordic cooperation will be through the Nordic Council of Ministers. However, I believe that the UNESCO Convention will provide another excellent tool for achieving the vision's objectives. After all, the Convention emphasizes the passing on of tradition, cultural diversity, people's inclusion in cultural heritage, and culturally sustainable development. This conference will also advance the policy of the Northern Dimension, an instrument of cooperation between our equal partners, the European Union, the Russian Federation, Norway and Iceland. The Northern Dimension policies seek to strengthen stability, well-being and sustainable development in our region by means of practical cooperation. It has been great to see how, as part of the Northern Dimension's culture partnerships, cross-border cooperation has already increased in the creative sectors. On Saturday, the conference workshop will take place with the support of the Northern Dimension Partnership on Culture. In addition to intangible cultural heritage, the World Saving Clinic workshop will examine the thinking and application of the Council of Europe's Faro Convention on the value of cultural heritage for society. I'm pleased to note that in addition to sustainability, both conventions emphasize a community-oriented, inclusive culture policy in which cultural heritage is seen as a resource in society. In line with this new approach, the workshops aims to identify opportunities for hands-on cooperation. I think this will help promote ideas for new research and development projects and for the use of creative expertise in the interfaces between different sectors. The new projects will also help strengthen the competitiveness and attractiveness of the regions where the Northern Dimension policies are applied. Dear friends, Finland's most recent government program sets our ambitious targets for sustainable development. The program's aim is to transform Finland into a socially, economically, and ecologically sustainable society by 2030. When it comes to culture, the program notes that the dynamic cultural life has intrinsic value, and as such it creates the foundation for a society where education and culture are highly regarded. Culture strengthens democracy and reinforces the freedom of speech. The government program also draws attention to intangible cultural heritage and pledges to protect it. I believe this is very important, and we are delighted that the work in this field has been proactive and carried out in good cooperation with other parties interested in our living heritage. The purpose of this conference is to present and share good practices for protecting our intangible cultural heritage. Our aim is to learn together, to support networking, and to facilitate international partnerships. This conference is indeed Nordic cooperation at its best. With this in mind, I wish you all a very fruitful and rewarding conference here at the beautiful Hanaholmen. Thank you.
Dear Nordic and Baltic participants, ladies and gentlemen, it's also a pleasure for me to wish you all welcome to Finland and to Helsinki and to Hanasaari to discuss about the Convention of Intangible Convention. Some words about the convention. What do sauna bathing, folk dance, tikkuristi, rak weaving, picking mushrooms and snow games have in common? They are all part of living intangible cultural heritage, present in the everyday life and celebration of the people in Finland. They are practiced by people of all ages in different corners of Finland and even beyond. And yes, they are very much alive. Today we have gathered together for the first time ever to discuss intangible cultural heritage among the Nordic and also Baltic countries. I'm very happy to see how much interest this conference has awakened. Today we are more than 160 people from 12 different countries. Finland has working actively with the UNESCO Convention of Safeguarding the Intangible Cultural Heritage for 6 years now. Since the beginning, Finland has had a keen interest to learn and exchange with other countries who work with the convention, and especially in the neighboring countries. We have been also very active in World Heritage Convention and been also the member of the World Heritage Committee some years ago. All of the Baltic and Nordic countries have ratified the convention. In addition, autonomous areas, Greenland, Faroe Islands and Åland actively participate in the implementation of the convention. There has been a lot of exchange of ideas, methods and tools between the countries. The purpose has been to look into open, participatory and community-led ways to implement the convention. All of our countries boast with non-governmental organizations. In the field of intangible cultural heritage, the number of non-governmental organizations can be counted in tens of thousands. This provides a fruitful standing point for the implementation of the convention in all of the Nordic and Baltic countries. Along with this UNESCO convention, several other international involving cultural heritage come close to the work on living heritage. Among others, the World Heritage Convention and the Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions by UNESCO and so-called Faro Convention under Council of Europe can create good synergies for our common work. Intangible cultural heritage can effectively contribute to sustainable development as well as to the requirement of peace and security. One of the questions raised during these days is that how can the place of intangible cultural heritage in sustainable development best be understood so that its contributions can be recognized and fully realized. One of the ways to look into this will be the wheel chart of sustainable development published today. We hope it will be used by many in different countries. This is great potential to develop the work among the neighboring countries. We already have some visible results of good Nordic cooperation, such as the Nordic Safeguarding Practices platform. We hope to see many more examples of cooperation in future. The flourishing of civil society in these countries provides a great starting point for the possibility to work truly in the spirit of the convention. I especially want to thank the Hanaholmen Cultural Center, Arts Promotion Center of Finland, Ministry of Education and Culture, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Finnish National Commission for UNESCO, the Royal Norwegian Embassy and the Northern Dimension Partnership on Culture for their support. I will also thank Leena Marsio and her staff for preparing and arranging this conference. I wish you all fruitful discussion, good learning, experiences and exchange of ideas for the coming days. You are warmly welcome to Finland, to Helsinki and to Hanasaari. Thank you.